Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is the rice coffee again. It's the mushroom coffee substitute. It's supposed to be good for your stomach and good for your brain. Don't know about that, but I have to put the coffee on the back burner for a while because of stomach issues. So moving on, yada yada yada. So today's high is supposed to be 80. It's cloudy this morning, so there's a chance of rain. And then it's going to be cooling off the next few days, which is good for me. So hopefully I can get back out into the garden. Yesterday it was really hot, but it was a nice day. Mom and I sat on the deck, and she was admiring all the impatient flowers, and she really enjoyed it. We sat out there for quite a while. I have a fan out there that I've had for a lot of years that I put to good use, and it was nice. So I don't use my deck too often lately because it's been too hot. But on nice days, I do like to sit out there with a cup of coffee or whatever. And then last night, I even sat out there for a little bit in the evening because it had cooled off and it was really, really pleasant out there. So I didn't sleep well last night at all. I was tossing and turning, and I just couldn't fall asleep. Lots going on in my head, trying to figure out how I'm going to get my things done in a reasonable amount of time. And plus that, my arthritis was acting up too, which is never fun. So I'm going to give this rise a stir because it's a powder. I also put some colostrum in here. A couple of my viewers said that it's supposed to help with arthritic issues and with stomach. Well, I don't know about the arthritic issues, but the colostrum is supposed to help with stomach problems. So I thought I would stick that in with my coffee. So another thing I'm going to stick in with my coffee is my oat milk creamer. And this is a coffee cake flavor, which is really tasty. It takes a bit for this rise coffee to melt. Sometimes you get little things that you gotta smush down, but it's tasty, but it's expensive. But I had a couple of bags of it left because unbeknownst to me, it was auto shipped, so I put an end to that because I don't need it that often. So another coffee substitute that I like is called Bueno, and it's, let me show you. It comes in flavors too, and it's made with chickpeas. It's good too. This one's creamy hazelnut. And I think they're all pretty much with chicory, which is fine. And then, of course, the Ticino is my favorite. So cheers. And that comes in a lot of different flavors. Cheers. Yeah, that's tasty, but like I said, it's not my favorite. I may or I may not order it again, I don't know, but I definitely won't order it on auto ship. They kind of sneak that in there. So anyway, I need to get out in the yard, but I've got Mom here now, so that's got to be on hold for a little bit. and I got to figure out little projects that I can work on while I have her here. And I don't know, I may have her stay till tomorrow. I have to see how, she's a little bit weak, so she's needing a little extra help. So until she gets strengthened up a little bit, I'll just have her stay here with me. So getting old isn't always fun, but it's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege that you get to spend it with your family. And I mean, there aren't too many people out there that are 75 that still have their mom. So I'm very thankful for that. So anyway, without further ado, I will meet you in a second over there at the budget book. And we'll give that a chat and see how I'm doing over there. Okay, back at the budget book, and I'm a day behind. So I didn't spend any money on Thursday, and I didn't spend any money on Friday. Maybe I did. One of those days I went to lunch with my daughter. That was Thursday, so I didn't spend any money yesterday, but Thursday I did, so I'm going to give that an X, and I have to get out my red marker. So I took my daughter to lunch, and we had a nice lunch. She had some bruschetta, and they had these big things of deep-fried mozzarella cheese on there, and pesto sauce and tomato sauce, and oh, it looked so good. And I had a calzone that was excellent. I had it with mushrooms, and it was really good. And I brought half of it home for my grandson, and he liked it too. So that was money well spent. So anyway, one more day left now in August, and I have started to put things in my cart at Walmart, and the things that I'm putting in there, some of the things are extra medications, like cold medications, and stocking up for the winter season, because there's rumblings going on out there about potential bird flu and potential monkeypox, and it's an election year, and I guess that's the norm anymore. So I thought I would stock up on a couple of extra of those things. And I was listening to Steve Turley at Turley Talks. He's a YouTuber, and he had on a doctor, and she was talking all about the last fiasco we had. And apparently they have a website where they sell medications for these things. I have to talk a little bit in code here because, the algorithm. Anyway, I don't know what the pricing is, and I don't know too much about it. I didn't check out the website, but she made a lot of sense. So that was his yesterday's video. So if I remember, which I usually don't, I'll put a link to it in the description box below. But it's Steve Turley, and he's got a lot of interesting guests on there sometimes, and he's a commentator that he's an analyst. He analyzes things that are going on in the news and in politics and all that. So it's worth it to give him a listen every now and then. So I don't know, there's certain people that I like to listen to. I like Russell Brand. He has some interesting subjects on. VT Politics. He does a lot of little short videos on things that are going on. A lot of these YouTubers that comment on some of the things that are going on in the world, they do a lot of reading of, different sources, and then they report on them when, of course, there's rumblings going on about things that are potentially happening or going to happen. So, if you like to follow those things, I'd recommend not listening to the mainstream media, because they've kind of become a propaganda machine, and listen to some of these other YouTubers, or just to get a different perspective. And then at least you can form your own opinion, which we all should do, about what's going on in the world, and not just be spoon-fed an agenda or a narrative. Well, that's all I'm going to say about that. So back to the finances. But I'm putting some extra medications, for flus and colds, and not a whole lot, because I have a stash of that stuff already. But just, to stock up on it a little bit more. If I need it, I'll be very happy to have it. And if I don't need it, well, then I still think it was money well spent. One thing that I like to keep stocked up on for the cold and flu season, and it's worked for me, is Airborne. I usually get the generic kind, and it works just as well. And at the first sign of a sniffle, I start taking it 3 times a day for at least a couple days. And knock on wood, I haven't had a cold in quite a while. Or if I did have a cold, it was very mild. So you might want to look into that. Again, it's called Airborne, Airborn. It was developed by a school teacher, actually. I guess she got tired of catching all the little kids' colds. And it's not that expensive. You drink it in water. It's fizzy, so it doesn't taste bad. It comes in a couple different flavors. And you might want to give it a try. I recommend it, but do your own research, because there might be things in there that you're allergic to, or, so always read the labels of medication bottles. So there's a little disclaimer from me. So, all right, well, I need to get out my red marker and change my green one to red. And then I'll be back later. I have no clue what I'm doing today. With Mom here, I don't want to just let her sit here by herself and be bored. So I've been giving her some cooking magazines. She likes those, and gardening magazines, and she already wants to take them home and check them out and read them. And I said, sure, you can do that. So I'll send those home with her, and some of them are from the Dollar Tree. I like the little Dollar Tree magazines. I think they're really nice. They have cooking and gardening, and for $1.25, I think it's a nice little magazine. So anyway, that's it for the budget book this morning. I think next year I'm going to plant these again. I think they're polka dot. I think it's a polka dot plant. And it grew so nicely this year. And then the begonias too. And these have gotten really tall. So, but I think I'm going to go ahead. I've never planted these before, but I think next year I'm going to plant these again. And I'll plant begonias. And the marigolds did well, so I'll plant those again. But I'm not going to have these hanging baskets. They're too much to water. They're still looking okay, And these water things that I have in here just didn't work. So I think those will be going in the trash. And there's my buddy. Beautiful flower. So the begonias did really, really well this year. And I do like the pink ones with the dark leaves. Those are my favorites. So, yeah, the little dogs are out here with my mom, keeping her company. So that's a little bit of a view of my garden. I think Chloe went in the house. She likes to be out here for a little bit and then she goes in. And then, yeah, the begonias did really, really well this year. So I'll be planting those again this year, or next year. And here I have little lettuces coming up. They're self-sown. Of course, I have some dandelions too, but you can actually eat those too. But I have the little lettuces poking up all over the place. And lots of weeds too, so I'll pull those out once they get a little taller and I can actually identify everything. So there we go. That's the garden for today. I'm out here on my deck a little bit, and Mom's still sitting in the garden. She's enjoying herself sitting by all the flowers, and she keeps saying, "Oh, you should trim the basil," and you know, she wants to get in there and help, but and unfortunately now all the planes have decided to fly over, so this might be a challenge. But it's nice out. It's warm and humid, but not horrible. So yeah, it's getting a little bit boring because I want to get out here and get some things done, and that's not working, but that's okay. You know, we have to do our priorities. I texted my deck guy and asked him when he was going to start the deck, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so we'll see. My neighbor thought he was going to start it next week, but she wasn't sure, so I'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to have to take all these flowers out and all that before they start, so that's going to be a big project. And Mom is chomping at the bit to go home. She wants to go home, and I get it. You know, I mean, for her, it's, you know, I try and sit with her and talk and things like that, but, you know, there's only so much you can talk about, and then she gets tired, and, you know, she wants her own space. And as long as she's able to, I'll go along with that. So, yeah, things are getting pretty crazy out there. I don't know how you guys feel about the upcoming people choosing, but me, I'm stocking up. I'm stocking up on medical things. I'm stocking up a little bit more on food. I have plenty of food. I have plenty of other things like my stove, my little portable stove and things, because I have the feeling it's going to get a little hairy the closer we get to the fall. So I'm you know, taking precautions, and if I'm wrong, and I hope I am, then fine, you know. So I spent a little money, or actually quite a bit of money, and you know, I like I said, I would rather be prepared than be caught off guard. So plenty of toilet paper, but I had plenty of toilet paper before the last fiasco hit. So one of my viewers was saying that her husband has to have a procedure done, and that his physician recommended to have it done before the election. So that tells you something. So anyway, yeah, it's really pleasant out here tonight for dinner. We're going to have our garden vegetables again. We had that last night. And I already cooked some pasta. We'll have it with pasta tonight. And it's noisy out here today. It's not very quiet. Every now and then the flight pattern goes over our house. It's not constantly, but it seems like around this time. That's what happens, and then it's like a little on the noisy side. So, and then of course I have the turnpike, which is like kind of white noise, and that's right behind my house. Well, not right behind my house. There's a street in the woods and another row of houses in between my house and the turnpike. But you can definitely hear the turnpike. You know, it's white noise. Mom's waving to me. But she's enjoying herself out there. You know, I can't have her sitting in the house 24/7. That would be boring. I'm giving her magazines to look at. She likes to look at gardening magazines and cooking. She's like me in that regard. Or I'm like her in that regard, because she was here first. And she likes to read about those sorts of things. So she hasn't been in my garden in a long time. Actually, since I don't entertain anymore, a lot of people haven't been out in my garden in a very long time. I still have visions of having a barbecue out there, which, I could do, but we always end up at my daughter's house, and that's nice. We like it there. She's got her chickens and her dogs, and it's a very nice piece of property. So, and my son, my middle son, he surprised us today. He wanted to see his Oma, so he stopped by and visited, had a cup of coffee with us, and we all did a cheers. So that's what we do. We are a cheerful family. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting kind of anxious to get back to my projects. Not that I'm loving doing them, I'm not, but I do want to get them done and over with. And get that off my let's simplify list, which is quite lengthy, actually. So, well, I hope you'll be able to hear me chatting away here. Other than that, I'm doing okay. Mom's doing okay. I hope you guys are all doing okay. I know some of you have been having some health issues. And I think it's a good idea to stock up on some extra things for colds and flus and things like that. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.